Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing very well today. In the studio, I've got an S-style guitar, unlike, well, anything else out there. What exactly is this guitar? Let's get into it. Yes, welcome back to the channel, you guys. As I mentioned, very interesting S-style guitar in the studio. So this one is from a company out of Denmark called Baum Guitars. And this model, as you guys can see, is the Celester. Now the Celester I have here today was designed, of course, in Denmark, but the Baum guitars made in Denmark are very expensive. So this one here is their overseas production. They're all made in Indonesia, which of course means some pretty serious savings for the average player, but you get, the really cool designs out of Denmark. So it's great for the consumer. You get an interesting guitar, but without having to pay thousands of dollars. Now, as you guys know, pretty much every guitar company on planet Earth makes some sort of S-style guitar, and there's a good reason for it. They're generally very lightweight, they're ergonomic, they're super robust, and, well, they're very versatile. So that's a great combination for a guitar, but as I mentioned before, this one's got a few tricks up its sleeve, so let's find out what makes this guitar a little bit different. So here are a few quick highlights that I think make the Celester stand out in the S-style crowd. Of course, I'll link to the full guitar in the video description below. You can get all the specs there. Let's start up on the headstock. As you guys can see, brass posts. I think that looks really sharp. Just something you don't see on a lot of guitars. We'll talk about the finish in a second too. There's lots of blues and greens and grays, kind of in a sparkle finish. Really nice. Now on the neck, we've got a rosewood fingerboard with those crown inlays. Again, I think it looks really sharp, just something a little bit different. On the back of the neck, satin, roasted maple. Very comfortable neck profile, beautiful to play on. And the fretwork on this guitar is very good. I'll take a shot from down low and then a shot on the very, very upper frets for you guys. So you can see nice fretwork on this guitar, great attention to detail. Now, as for the body of this guitar, this is actually a mahogany body, so not a combination you see often on an S-style guitar. So roasted maple, rosewood, and mahogany on the body. Now on the back side, let's skip and talk about the trem for a second, because as you can see, I've removed the trem cover. Very clean back there, and as you can see, big brass block. Very nice feature. Love to see that. The trem itself has a pop-in bar, so you're not screwing and unscrewing. You can just pop it out. You can set the screw to get your desired tension. So really nice high-end trem. It is a 6-point trem, so it has more of that vintage look to go with obviously the pickups and the other aesthetics of the guitar. But I've used this for probably 3 or 4 weeks now, and this trem is very good. And as we know from PRS, you can make a very high performance 6-point trem, and this guitar has that. Now let's talk about the pickups. There's a few really cool things about these pickups. So these are the Baum Gold Sound Verve pickups, and not only do they look absolutely fantastic in this guitar, but like I said, there's a few actual unique things about them. Number one, in the bridge pickup, it's almost like a T-style pickup. It's overwound, it's a little hotter, and it's got the brass plate on the back. So that's something a little bit different. And also in the middle position on a regular S-style guitar, you would have just the middle pickup by itself, but we've got some interesting switching here. In the middle position, you actually have neck and bridge. So position 5 is the neck, position 4 is these two, just like a Strat. Position 3 is the outside pickups, position 2 are these two, and position 1 is the bridge. So it's all basically exactly the same as a Strat, but when you hit that middle position, you get a different tone. So we'll of course explore that as we go along in a second. And I've talked about the trim, and other than that, you've got a few interesting carves on the body itself right here, kind of coming down further than a Strat and then swooping over some nice lines on this guitar. So those are the basic highlights that I think make this guitar stand out. Like I said, check the video description. You can get all the specs on this guitar. Well, now that we know what this guitar is all about, it's time to plug it in and listen to some tones. I'll be playing through the Rev Generator 120. Here we go. Let's see what the Celester sounds like. So here are my final thoughts on the Baum Celester. Now, first things first, even though this is a guitar made overseas, there are no compromises on this instrument. Even when I was pulling off the back cover, you know, it is routed so tight, beautiful, clean on the inside. Yeah, all the aspects of this guitar are high end, and you know, it shows. Even things like, you know, the gold script on the headstock, the brass posts matching up with the gold covered pickups, nice tie-in. The paint job, as I mentioned earlier, is a very interesting kind of sparkle finish, a few different colors in there. Yeah, really beautiful stuff, whether you like sparkle finishes or not. There's obviously other finishes for this guitar. But yeah, I just wanted to mention the construction on this guitar, you know, the way the nut is cut, the way it plays, the way it holds tune. Everything is really, really nice on this guitar, even though it is an overseas instrument. So that was the first thing I wanted to note. I liked the electronic switching. There's not a lot of times where I just go exclusively into the third position on a Strat, unless I'm looking for something like exceedingly chimey. So I liked the switching. So you could keep position 4, you could keep position 2, but you got something unique in the middle. I like that. Now, as for pricing, well, as you guys can imagine, this is not a budget guitar. Even though it's made overseas, every aspect of this guitar is high end, and you know, quality control is very, very good on these instruments. And as you guys know, I'm a big Strat guy. You can see a few in the background there. And I think the playability on this, I think the fretwork on this, and the quality control, not to mention like the roasted maple neck and all the other features that you won't get on even an American Strat, I think are a little bit nicer on this one. So, you know, like I said, they haven't skimped on the small details on this guitar. Even though it's overseas, don't let that stop you. And in terms of pricing, they're all about the same, the Baum Indonesian-made guitars. So, you know, they're not budget instruments, but what you get for it is unique and very well done. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you enjoy demos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I will link to this guitar and all my details down in the video description below. You can check them out there if you're so inclined. Other than that, have yourself a great day. Take care.